The list of changes coming to the new iPhones is pretty significant, but that actually depends on which of all these iPhones, according to new rumors. Samsung just got controversial with its next batch of foldables, as they don't all seem to be breaking records anymore. Apple is reportedly working on an insane list of new products for the near future, with some that sound a bit odd for the company. And yes, the rumored Samsung glasses are coming sooner than expected, and you might not like the reasons why. I'm Jaime Rivera, and it's time for these 4 interesting topics. This is Tech Briefing powered by MediaTek. I thought I'd never say this, but the rumors surrounding Samsung's Galaxy Z Fold 8 are starting to get controversial. On a positive front, we hear of welcome things, like the selfie camera punch hole getting smaller from 3.7mm to 2.5. Not sure if that means a better megapixel count, but hey, listen, I'll take it. Where we did hear about megapixel improvements is in the ultra-wide, jumping from 12 to 50 megapixels, which I'm totally for as a better complement to the primary. Thing is, new reports call that the Z Fold 8 is actually getting thicker, which I personally don't mind if that means the S Pen is coming back, or a bigger battery, or magnets, but which do defeat the purpose of the selling point of the Z Fold 7, though, yeah, I mean, how much thinner can they make this phone? Apparently it's going from 4.2mm when folded to 4.5 and from 8.9mm to 9, though the height and the width apparently remain the same. What's interesting is that apparently Samsung is bringing these features to the wide fold, though the rumors are kind of conflicting because according to the leaks, the measurements make it seem like at 9.8mm, it's actually going to be thicker when folded, but then expanded apparently it gets to 4.3. I don't necessarily get what they're trying to do here, but we'll see, as it might be slimmer than expectations, and even some competitors in the Z Fold 7. Now, the biggest change is the inner display, which is now expected to use a 4:3 aspect ratio, similar to the iPad, instead of the rumored 16:10. Now, while the shape may be less ideal for watching videos, it could improve usability for applications, reading, multitasking, or just using it as a magazine, which is what I do with an iPad. New leaked renders have also emerged of both devices and even the Z Flip, so it'll be a pretty busy summer if Samsung sticks to the usual launch timeframe. Let me know in the comments if you're okay with the thicker Z Fold, and if so, what would you like to get in exchange? And speaking of Samsung, let's switch gears to wearables because things are starting to get interesting. Remember the rumors of the company working on a pair of Galaxy glasses as a continuation to the Galaxy XR? Well, the upcoming glasses have appeared in leaked images, and I've got some thoughts. I mean, they do seem to show a slim, lightweight design that looks similar to eyewear that we currently have, despite housing smart features, but there might be a logical reason why. See, this version is expected to be displayless, relying instead on cameras and voice control through Android XR and Google's Gemini Assistant to interact with the user's surroundings. I know, like Meta Ray-Ban competitors, pretty much. Now, what's different is that these glasses are reportedly including dual cameras instead of just one, aside from thin temples and minimal branding, making them less bulky than many competitors. Why dual cameras is a question I'm asking myself as well. Early specs suggest Snapdragon AR1 chip, a 12-megapixel Sony sensor, or at least two, 155 milliamp hour battery, bone conduction speakers, which is also different from what Meta is doing, and they weigh around 50 grams. That said, internal leaks point to multiple models being produced, including this version, codenamed Jinju, and a future high-end model expected in 2027 with built-in micro-LED displays for visual notifications. Pricing for the displayless Galaxy glasses is rumored around $379 to $499, though this is not confirmed. Stay tuned as we either see this at Galaxy Unpacked or heck Google I/O, as we might get to see something here given how it's Android XR. Let me know if you like what you see in the comments. Now let's switch to Apple for a couple of segments as news of what the company is planning for the future continues to get interesting. As of September this year, we're expecting a new company, given the shift to John Ternus as the new CEO. Mark Gurman recently provided insights into at least 6 products that Apple might currently have in development, though, yeah, we know not all products get launched in the end. Within the list, we heard of AI AirPods, smart glasses, a pendant, and a smart display, all of which we've talked about in previous videos. What I haven't is on the two others, which are a tabletop camera apparently and a security camera, though I'm sure details will emerge on those over time. Now the thing is, Mark Gurman just doubled down on two devices, starting with the smart glasses. It seems the company's long-term goal is reportedly to create lightweight AR glasses that can overlay digital information onto the real world, potentially replacing the iPhone and pretty much bringing the Vision Pro functionality to a smaller form factor. But then, here's the thing, that goal won't be ready until around 2028 or further. Whatever we might get in 2027 is typical Apple, where we get a simpler device at first that evolves into a more advanced version in the future. Now, the second concept is an unexpected return. We heard of Apple working on a foldable iPad a long time ago, and well, it's back. It's around 20 inches when unfolded, which pretty much becomes an iPad Pro when folded. Details are still limited, but we hear this is kind of a priority for the new administration. So let's see where this goes, if anything. I mean, I'd love for it to happen, but it sounds kind of weird. I'm curious to know what you think about this in the comments. I mean, do you think this is an iPad or a Mac, or probably the future of the iMac? We'll see. Now, before we get to the hottest news, let me tell you about today's sponsor, MediaTek. Yes, the company powers most smart TVs in the market today, but what if your current TV is already aging and getting sluggish and you're not ready to upgrade just yet? Well, meet Google's TV Streamer 4K, powered by MediaTek's 8696 processor. It allows you to pretty much turn any TV or monitor into the fastest smart TV money can buy. It gives you full access to Google TV and more than enough RAM for you to jump between applications without these having to reload all the time. It lets you control your smart home with ease and even pair your Pixel Buds for whenever you want more immersive watching. It's yet another example of how MediaTek powers some of the smartest experiences in the world today. Thanks to MediaTek for sponsoring this video. And finally, for the hottest news today, let's talk iPhones, as there are at least 3 reports circling around, and I'll try to condense these into one segment to make it easier. So, remember the rumors of Apple looking for ways to cut costs with the iPhone 18? Listen, I stand by my theory that the company is looking for creative ways to make quality more affordable, as we saw with the MacBook Neo, and new reports kind of validate that. It seems that while the hardware might slightly change, there won't be compromise in internals. It seems we're still getting a hefty upgrade with 12 gigs of RAM on the phone, along with Apple's new A20 2nm chip, which is rumored to bring an insane 50% boost in performance, especially over AI tasks when compared to A19, and this alone is a great thing. As for the Pro iPhone, some new rumors do claim that there will be subtle but important design changes that we weren't expecting. New dummy units suggest that there will be a thicker camera module with more protruding lenses compared to the iPhone 17 Pro Max, despite similar overall dimensions. These changes may support new features like a variable aperture main camera, improved telephoto performance in low light, and the more advanced stacked image sensor from Samsung for better responsiveness, dynamic range, and noise reduction. The report calls that camera hardware is a much bigger priority for this new phone than anything close to a flush design, and well, the leaks kind of show. Now, as for the iPhone Ultra, it actually seems that some of the earlier speculation might end up happening. Now, remember those early dummy units that showed no MagSafe ring? Well, it seems the ultra-thin design might not allow it, and well, no company has been able to pull it off at the reported 4.5mm thickness that this iPhone Ultra might bring. Face ID is also a known miss, along with the only eSIM design. Heck, we even heard there won't be an action button, though camera control will somehow make the cut. And as for the cameras, we hear primary and ultra-wide is what we're getting. Last but not least, it seems Apple has already begun prepping for that iPhone 20 when it comes to parts. For those of you wondering how the company plans to bring the rumored curved design, well, apparently Apple is reportedly working with Samsung to co-develop a micro-curved OLED display, which will be thinner and brighter than current displays and could support a major redesign with an early bezel-less screen that curves slightly on all 4 edges. Now, as for those curves, though, it won't be the waterfall design that we've seen from others. Apple is said to prefer shallow curves to improve comfort, reduce distortion, and make the edge gestures feel more natural. This display might even bring Samsung's color filter encapsulation technology, which removes the polarized layer to make it thinner, brighter, and even more efficient. We even hear a new anti-reflective coating is going along the panel to make it even more stealthier. In today's question, let me know, what iPhone out of all of these are you looking out for most? Because in my case, honestly, for me, it's all about the Pro iPhones. I want even better cameras if Apple can provide them, but that's because of what I do. I'm curious to know, which one would you like most in the comments? Friends, thank you so much for joining on this new episode of Tech Briefing. Please like, subscribe, and join the conversation in the comments, as I'm sure you've seen me try to respond to as many as I can. Also, follow me on social media, as there's a lot of work coming soon. Also, our Technically There podcast with Josh is coming back very soon, so stay tuned for that as well. I'm Jaime Rivera. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you on the next one.